What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Content Corner. This is your boy Herb,
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lens.
and this week we're talking what everyone's talking about. We're talking Digimon.
That's a
Nah,
lie.
that's a lie.
That's a
That's a
big
lie. That's a
lie.
straight up lie.
Why would you even do that?
We are talking Snyder Cut.
Oh,
Snyder,
baby.
Schneider,
Snyder.
Schnitzel,
Snyder.
Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah, sure.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Eh. Yo, with straight up with no no spoiler. 8 out of 10. So much better than the original.
Yo,
So much better.
it's a
It's a
whole
whole
different
different
movie.
movie.
It's a completely different movie. Like, I can't even begin to describe how much more detail, how much more coherent the story is. Uh, a lot of so many like lines were taken out that didn't make sense before, and then 2 hours of extra content. So like, all right, so it's twice the length of the original cut, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that originally when they were talking about the Snyder cut, before we had any details, I was just like, all right, Justice League was a bad movie. It was trash. And I was like, what?
Garbage.
How much can a director's cut change? Because usually a director's cut is like an extra 15 minutes, max 30 minutes, right? Maximum.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like it would be a miracle, right, for them to change anything with that much time. But no, they were like, nah, it's twice the length. I was like, oh, it's like a whole nother movie. And then it's not only just an extra 2 hours, it's there is stuff taken out from the theatrical cut. Like there are certain lines that just aren't in there that kind of made the characters worse. Like for example, like the
Yeah.
Flash. Like I'm not gonna say exactly what line, but like they took out some lines, and I was like, oh, I hated those lines. I'm glad that's not there. And then so it's not even just 2 extra hours. It feels like 2:15 of like new content. You know, not to mention the
It's
epilogue.
just
Oh,
oh boy.
oh my goodness.
Still, if there's one line I'm super glad they kept in the movie, it was at the end, which this is technically a spoiler if you haven't seen the original version, but if you have,
If
you'll
you
know
haven't
exactly
seen
what
the
I'm talking about
original
because they didn't.
version, then I would highly recommend watching the original version and then watching the Snyder cut
I,
just to comprehend the vast difference.
I don't know if I can say go watch the original, but anyway, one of my favorite lines was when they get Mama Kent her farm back, and it's just like Superman's like, "Thanks, Bruce." I was like, "Hey, how'd you do it?" It's like, "How'd you deal with the bank?" I bought the bank, and then the
Flex.
look on Superman's face is just like, "What?"
Unnecessary flex. Okay, Bruce.
Listen, never underestimate the power of money.
It's the
Never.
it's the most brolic superpower there is.
Like, think about someone doing something cool. Think about them doing it with money. Cooler, right?
It's cooler. It's just cooler. Oh man. Yo, so one, props to the fans for getting this done, right? Because honestly, this was a 100% fan effort. Um,
Yeah,
so many
they didn't want to put
people,
this out.
they didn't obviously like so many people had to like petition and fucking write letters and everything. So first off, credit to the fans for getting to the fucking minds of WB. Secondly, credit to the fans for supporting Zack Snyder through probably the most traumatic time of his life. Now,
And like,
um,
there were
mhm.
people back when it happened that were just like, "Yo, fuck Zack Snyder for like not working on the movie." Blah blah. I'm like, bro,
Well, like
his daughter
I,
just died.
yeah, I
Like,
also feel like a lot of people don't know. So if you don't know what happened, why there's even a Snyder cut. So during the production of Justice League, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide, and obviously, he had to leave the project. And,
Yeah.
you know, of course, like nobody, like no reasonable person expected him to like stay on and do all this stuff. So they got Joss Whedon to come in and finish the movie. And we got what we got. The Joss Whedon version is absolute garbage. Also, Joss Whedon created a horrible work environment to the point where they had to launch an investigation, uh, an internal investigation of like everything that happened. If you like listen to like what Ray Fisher had to say and like everybody backing him up about like all the statements, like Joss Whedon was just a piece of shit during that whole process. So it only makes sense that the product that we got was subpar, right?
Yeah.
And then so the after the movie came out, bad reviews, all this stuff, there were rumors that there was a cut that like Zack Snyder did, and you know there's a version of the movie that you know we hadn't seen. Then began the petitions, the letters, the crowdsourcing. Also, like to support Zack Snyder in his time of need, like the fan base rose a bunch of money for like suicide prevention and awareness and all that just because they felt for Zach, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, who wouldn't? So this was truly a moment of like, wow, like you hear bad things about like fan bases, like comic book fan bases and movie fan bases, you know, like all the time, but man, the outpouring of humanity from these people was just beautiful, which made Zack Snyder want to like push for it. And then, you know, Zack Snyder pushed for it, and then WB was like, damn, like these people really want it. And yes, we do. We did.
Yeah, we do.
Um, and they finally agreed to release the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, and here we are. And man, oh man, am I glad. Oh my good, Zach, holy crap.
Yo,
Wow.
everyone was robbed.
Robbed.
Everyone was robbed,
He got robbed of his vision, bro. Like the fans got robbed of a fantastic movie.
bro. My
The
man
actors
set
got
up
robbed.
so much. He set up so much for a future DC movie universe.
Bro,
Oh my god,
the way that like the first string of like Marvel movies set up the whole thing, right? For like what we have now. Like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, like how that all set it. Bro, he did it in one movie. He did it in one
bro.
movie. Like the number of things that were teased and set up and the premises and everything. Like yes, he had Man of Steel before that and Batman versus Superman before that, but this, oh man, so many cool fucking so many cool scenes were taken out. Um, the whole um character arc of the villain was taken out. Like in the theatrical cut, you didn't know what he was doing or why or like who this guy was or
I mean, we knew
anything.
what he was
We knew
doing. We
what
didn't
he
know
was doing,
why.
but we didn't know why. Like we are just like, why is he just being a dick?
I was like, oh, because it's like, oh, because he works for Darkseid. There
Yeah,
you go. That's your answer. Okay.
but like
Next scene.
now, but here's the thing: it wasn't not in the theatrical cut. There was no mention of Darkseid, zero mention.
True. True. They made
If
it
you
seem
were,
like he
yeah,
was the mastermind.
if you were a DC fan, you knew he worked for Darkseid. But if you, or like you read the comics, you knew. But if you just walked into the movie, you're just like, this guy's just kind of doing this for the sake of doing this, and it kind of doesn't make sense. The fucking Snyder Cut, though, you understand why. You understand that there's somebody behind him. You understand like why he's so motivated. Why Darkseid's not here himself. You understand like the importance of the mother boxes. First off, you know that they're mother boxes in this movie. In the previous movie, they called them keys. I was like, what the
Hmm.
fuck? We know it's a mother box. Um, we everything
I'm
just
just
made more
glad they don't
sense.
sound like shotgun shells in my ear anymore, like in Young Justice.
I like the shotgun shells because yo, boom tubes,
Don't get me
the
wrong.
boom tubes are fucking dope, man. Bah!
Don't get me wrong. It's great, but like when it's like a semi-quiet scene and then like out of nowhere, "Ka-cow!" right in my ear, I'm like, yo, you need to calm the fuck
But
down.
that's how it's supposed to. Yo, boom tubes are supposed to be scary, bro. Like when the boom tube like just appears and fucking just it's shocking. It's supposed to like shock you. It's a boom tube, bro.
Uh, it's in the name.
It's in the name. It boom tube. It's not a squeak the door open tube. No, it's a boom tube. It booms, bro.
It's not a, it's not a whisper tube.
It's not a whisper tube. um, but yeah, man.
Nah, see, I feel like in a magical sense that would be creepy. Like in a
What?
magical setting, like a sorcery or whatever, like dark arts. You always hear like in your ears, like, gosh, whenever a portal opens. In a magical sense, that's scary as
Just like
shit.
a portal opens, like, hey, dude, I just popped in. Don't worry about me. I'll be in the background. Just what? 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 What
But
just
like
happened?
when you hear it, like you hear it as if someone was just like right up against your ear, and like you could almost feel their lips against your ear as they're speaking.
Oh, I don't want that. No, thank you. I'd rather the boom tube.
That's what I'm saying. In a sorcery standpoint, that's probably what they would go for, and I'd be like,
Ugh, I don't like that. Um,
at least with the boom tube, you know exactly like, got it, lock and load, got to get ready, something's coming.
honestly. Oh, also, can we speak about
But
real quick about like the actual fight that like people put up against Steppenwolf, right? In the Snyder cut, because in the theatrical cut,
which
Steppenwolf.
time?
What? Yes, yes.
I
So in the theatrical cut,
was like, 'cause we got the Amazons, we got the
Steppenwolf
Atlanteans.
goes to the Amazons first, right? And he kind of just
Yeah.
like drops in, bodies them real quick, takes a thing, and he's gone. Like that's it. Like it was light work. It took like 2 minutes. In the Snyder cut, bro, they worked hard. They worked
I
hard
say,
to prevent this man
first
from
off,
getting it.
Steppenwolf looks amazing in this movie compared
So
to the
much
original
better.
version.
So much better.
So good, and his axe. Oh my god, that
Oh,
like
bro, he has Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker.
Oh my goodness. Why? It's
He
just
was
so
hacks.
cool.
It was hacks.
It's super hacks. Oh my
And
god.
then, but yeah, like the Amazons, they worked dumb hard.
You got to see the Amazons be Amazons. Like they're brolic. Like in the theatrical cut, I was like, yo, y'all are supposed to be better than this. Come on. Nah, this time their accuracy was on point, their teamwork was on point. I was like, bro,
Bro,
these are
I mean,
Spartans. They train the Spartans. It makes sense.
exactly. And for those who don't know, in DC comic lore, the Amazons were actually the ones who trained the Spartans, which is why the Spartans were so brolic,
Yep.
because they learned from them.
Oh my
It's like it's that
goodness.
classic. I taught you everything you know, but not everything I know.
So yeah, bro, that the Atlanteans, you understand why the whole Atlantean force wasn't there waiting for Steppenwolf.
Yo, we got bloodbending.
Yo, oh my god, that was wild. When what was it? It was Amira. It was Mira, right?
There, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, straight up.
bro. Mira just straight up fucking bloodbending Steppenwolf.
Uh,
I was shocked. I was like,
I didn't know she could do
oh,
that.
me
I didn't know she
either.
could do that.
I was like, oh, she was like, oh, this is my like final chance because like she was pinned up against like the wall and she was like, and I'm like, oh, she's dangerous, bro. Oh my god, so many things got me hyped about this fucking
It
movie.
was
But
so,
yeah, like
it was so
a
good.
better fight against Steppenwolf like the whole way, right? So he didn't just have it easy. Also, he had a base of operations. And they took out that whole thing with the Russian family or whatever at the end. They took out the whole town. Like they were just like, no, nobody's there. What are you doing? What do you mean like people are here? Get out of here. You gotta save a town. We're dealing with something right now. We don't need like why do we need
We need extra pressure.
Yeah, like I was like, why do we need a subplot of like, oh, there's a family that hasn't evacuated the town? Like, what? Anyway,
It wasn't even just the family.
yeah, it was just the
It
whole
was
town.
like it was the whole town.
It was
Because
the whole
remember, we
town.
had that scene where Superman was carrying a fucking building full of people.
Yeah, it was
It was
just
stupid.
unnecessary. Flash, so much better. So much better.
Flash is so much. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I saying he's like achieved status of one of like my favorite Barry Allen? No,
No,
no.
far from it.
Is he? Yeah, far from it. Is he better though? Like, can I appreciate him more? 1,000% yes.
Oh yeah, like I don't
Thousand
hate him.
percent yes.
I don't hate him. In theatrical cut, I hated him. I was like, this guy is garbage. We need somebody new. We need new writing. Just throw it in the trash. Can we not? This time, I'm like, you know what? He's okay. He's okay. He does a lot of cool
Uh,
things. A lot
he
of
does a lot of
cool.
cool things.
I don't want to spoil him,
He does
but
a lot.
man, he does
Mhm.
some cool shit. Oh my god. And you understand more about like his character. You know, like you understand what type of person he's like, and why he does the things he does.
Yeah,
So he has more of a. I don't want to say he has a character arc because it's not like he changes throughout the movie, but
no.
there's just more establishing context.
Oh man,
Who
I'm
does
so
have an
glad they got
arc?
rid of that stupid scene with him of like, oh, I don't know what to do, and it's like just push somebody.
He's like, Batman's like, save one, then you'll know. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Um, but what you call it?
It's hard to
You
believe
know
that
who did
only
have
10% of this movie is in slow motion.
you know who did have a great character arc? Cyborg. Cyborg had like a
Oh yeah,
legitimate character arc, like
yeah.
legitimate, and like you see the steps, you see the progress, and you see how he changes, and you're like, wow, this is now. Is it revolutionary? No,
No,
it's not.
no.
But hey, it's a character arc, and it properly represents his story arc that he has in the recent comics and in the recent like lore. Like he has the same thing in Young Justice, the same thing in Titans, you know, the same type of like character arc, and they actually gave it time to fulfill itself. So I appreciate that. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Aquaman didn't change too much. Uh, but you did get a little bit like you got a couple extra scenes that
We
helped.
got more Alfred.
You got way more Alfred. No, we got more Alfred talking shit.
Listen, man, he's one of the few people that can get away with talking shit to Batman.
Yo, he talks mad shit to Bruce in this movie. He's like, "You're insufferable, Bruce." I'm like, "Wow, Alfred." Yo, you must be. I mean, he's been Batman for 20 years, so he's been dealing with this shit for a while. So,
Just
oh
see him
man.
like this ain't like, oh man, I guess I'll like humor him with what he's doing and worry about him. Now it's like, I'm tired of your shit, Bruce. Tired of your shit.
Oh my god, I love it. Um, yeah, so much more Alfred. Uh, pretty much the same scenes for Batman and Wonder Woman. They did move around the placement of like certain exposition, so it makes more sense. And it flows better. I'm not gonna say who what other characters show up because that I don't want to spoil. You'll have to watch for yourself.
I
But
will say that there are some characters that show up that were not in the theatrical cut.
word, there, bro, the number of times you were like, "Whoa, what? Excuse me?
You're in this
Why? Oh my god! Holy crap! Um, yeah, man, they so much setup. So like, I can already see. I want a Justice League 2. Okay, that's first off. I want 5 more movies from the Snyderverse, please. Like five,
Facts.
at least 5 more, and you can do it, and they would be great. Just
Facts. Just
like
it's a
I'm not.
shame that we won't get to see like
Mm,
we won't get to see future movies based on with this as the canon.
word. because the like, unfortunately, Zack Snyder has informed us that uh, Warner Brothers has decided that the Snyder Cut is not going to be the canon version of the movie, although although it's it's been highly well received. 95% from on Rotten Tomatoes by the audience. 95%. The critics say 73, but what do critics know? All right.
Nothing.
95%. That is highly rated. Now, am I saying that this movie is a 9.5 out of 10? Nah.
No. I'll give
But
it an 8. Solid 8.
I give it a solid 8. But I can understand why people have rated it so highly because one, far better than the theatrical version. Two, sets up way more shit for the whole universe, right? And if this was the cut that we got into theaters, every subsequent movie would have been better. I like to think
Yeah.
that Wonder Woman 84 would have been far better if this is the
Oh yeah.
version. Like, I know that chronologically, like in the universe, Wonder Woman 84 happens before then, but it sets a precedent in real life, right? Like, okay, this movie was good. Um how how can we continue this? How can we like foster the growth, and how do we set up more stuff for the universe? So, man, it's just it's just sad. It's I'm happy and sad at the same time. It's bittersweet. Um,
Now, I will say, I remember I saw like how some people were like when it was announced how long the Snyder Cut is, that it's for a 4 hour long movie, right? I remember there were some people saying like, "Yo, 4 hours? Who the fuck is gonna sit through a 4 hour movie?" You know? And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you don't
me,
know. You clearly have never met a Lord of the Rings fan. Like
but
4 hours,
yeah.
light work,
But
light work.
here's what I will say. If this movie, all right, if this version was gonna be the theatrical cut, they probably would have cut. They probably could have cut 30 minutes from this movie.
Yeah, make it like 3.5.
Three and a half. Because the point of the Snyder Cut was not to give us a new theatrical cut. The point of the Snyder Cut was to give us everything we didn't get. So
Yeah,
when you think about it that way, I also think that hurts the rating that I gave it, right? If they were to cut certain things out, rearrange stuff for a theatrical version, then it probably could have been up to an 8.5. But I understand the point of this is to give us everything, everything that could have been. Which honestly I appreciate a little more because I don't want a new theatrical cut. I want to see what I missed out on.
right.
So yeah, I'll say that much, that
I
there's a
I will
reason
say
why it's 4 hours, and the reason is that it's not supposed to be a new theatrical cut.
true, but it's like I know for me personally, and several other people that I at least I've spoken to, that it's just like, yo, I'll we'll sit in a movie theater for 4 hours, watch
Oh
a
yeah,
single movie.
facts,
Like
facts.
I have no issues with that. It's what do you call it? And especially like because there's already people since there's chapters, right? You could throw like one, maybe two quick like 10-minute breaks. Like
One,
you go to the
just one,
the theater.
because
Yeah,
it's
I
yeah,
say two because some people might just be like, even with just like one bathroom break, like two
yeah,
hours and
fuck
two
them.
hours.
They're weak.
Yeah,
Their bloodline is weak.
you get 10 minutes to go to the bathroom, empty your bladder, and come back
No,
and sit your ass down again.
listen. It's 6 parts, right? The movie is split up into 6 parts, plus an epilogue. You just slap a 10 minute break after part three, and you're gonna be good. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. 10 minutes to get up, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. Then you come back, and like it's perfect because when part 4 picks up, it's one of the slower moments in the movie. Not a bad moment, just it's one of the slower moments in the movie, I feel like. The very beginning of part 4. So like if you're running late from your bathroom because there was a line or some shit, you'd be fine. You'd
Yeah,
still be
like
fine.
it kind of restarts. I don't want to say restarts. It's not like the movie is restarting, but in terms of like energy, like things were ramping up, it slowed down, and then part four, it kind of like the engines have to start like get going again. So it makes sense to have like a break there.
Yeah.
And also, uh, I think that us as a society need to embrace longer movies more, and here's why if your attention span is too short to appreciate a long movie, that's a problem. If you can't sit in your seat and understand something that's happening for 4 hours, then I like come on, fam. Really? I'm not expecting you to remember everything that happened during the course of 4 hours because that's tough.
Yeah.
But you should be able to follow a story for 4 hours, you know? And listen, if they need to increase the price of the ticket a little bit to compensate for that because movie theaters need to make money, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Like, especially if it's a movie like I'm excited for, and then like they're like, we need all this time to tell you like a proper story. All right, bet. Like instead of like an $18 ticket, pay $22 for the extra like 45 minutes or whatever. Sure, I'm down.
It's just like I would have 1,000% been willing to. It's like, hey, here's Justice League, and for an extra $10, you can see the director's cut, which is 4 hours. I'd have been like, I'll sit through that. Here's an extra $10.
Word, absolutely. Oh man, so I can't hold back anymore. I need to talk spoilers. So if at this point you have not watched the movie, please do. Um, it's here's I all right. I want people to watch the OG to then watch the Snyder Cut so that they can understand why this was important to us. If you don't feel like doing all of that, I understand. So just watch the Snyder Cut. It is 4 hours, so like buckle in. Um,
Make sure you get some snackage. Some snackage.
or dude, I made popcorn halfway through the movie. Halfway, like literally at part four, I was like, "And popcorn time," and like,
Yo,
oh man,
like now that we're in spoiler territory, yo, so my man Barry,
oh my god,
right?
holy crap,
When he went backwards in time, as like the mother boxes were imploding, he's just like, gotta do now, Barry. Gotta go faster than light. Gotta break the rule. Gotta do it now. Do it, Barry. Fuck.
bro, that was amazing. That was fantastic. First off, that scene looked beautiful. Oh my
Mhm.
god. Oh my goodness. Everything looks so cool.
Because he
Bro,
started by phasing through the explosion, right? That's what he did.
I'm not even
Or
sure.
did he just
I'm
like
not even sure what he did,
like
bro.
it almost looked like he phased through the initial explosion at first, but then accelerated himself to the point where the explosion was happening in like ultra ridiculous slow mo,
Yeah, so I
which
think
gave him time to
I think what
think.
was happening was that there were shockwaves of the explosion, and he
Hmm.
slowed everything down, and he might have phased through the initial one that kind of like wiped everything like beneath him, and then he
Hmm.
started to move, and he need what's crazy about that, right, is that he didn't have much space, right, when you think about it, and two, he needed to instantly go faster than the speed of light, because normally he needed to ramp up to that speed, right?
Yeah.
Nah, he needed to from the starting line go faster than the speed of light. Wild.
Yep. Yep.
Wild,
Yep.
bro.
It was so good. It was so good.
Oh my goodness. It was
And you know
so
what?
cool.
That one moment sets up Flashpoint. That one moment.
It sets up a possibility of Flashpoint.
Well, like the reason being is because like we had the line from what do you call it? We had the line from his dad earlier in the movie,
Hmm. Oh
which is
yeah,
like, and I was just like, oh, that's gonna come back in Flashpoint. Watch. But
it's
then
and then
also,
he repeated it. He said create your own future, and then he said create your own past. So
exactly.
you know what? Fair enough. The idea is embedded. He got incepted.
And I'm just like, oh no, Barry, don't do it. Bad things happen when you mess with the timeline.
Word. So, oh my god. Also, I really like the two other scenes from Barry when he pushed through the glass to save Iris. That was really cool.
Oh
That was a really
yeah,
cool effect. Um, that
gorgeous.
was really cool. And then when he saved those people from the falling rubble, oh, from their perspective, him
Ooh,
just like flashing. Oh
yes,
my
just after images.
goodness. I was like, this is so fucking cool. Oh my god.
I'm so glad they kept one of still the best scenes with Flash. It's just when Superman's going crazy and Barry's like, "Oh, gotta go fast," and then you just see Superman give him the ill side eye in hyperspeed time. It's just like, and Barry's just
Bro.
like, "What?"
Hold your turtle. You approach me.
Because I'm just like, but then they actually, did they extend the little exchange that him and Superman had? Like when Superman was swinging at him, I felt like a little longer.
Nah. Nah.
Oh, it's the same.
That whole encounter was a little longer because the bit with Aquaman and Flash didn't happen. The sidestep, um, there was a couple of stuff that was extended. I think he fought against
Mm,
Diana a little longer, but yeah,
okay,
like that's about it.
fair, fair.
Oh, and then
Uh,
the Bruce deflecting the freaking heat vision
Heat Vision,
with his gauntlets. That was new,
that was new.
bro. The smokestack.
Sorry, I just remembered that joke I read that I read to you
I
that
don't
night.
even wanna. Let's not even talk about it. But
But it was
bro,
such a good joke.
wait, I'm over it, bro. When Bruce outraced the falling smokestack.
Yo,
First off, when
word.
Bruce went rampage on that whole like army with the Batmobile,
Mhm.
going
Batman
ham.
doesn't use guns.
This Batman does.
Mhm. This
Batman
Batman
doesn't
said,
kill.
"Fuck
This Batman is a murderer, bro.
that." Straight up murder.
He doesn't miss. He doesn't miss either.
No,
Oh
no.
my goodness.
Oh, and can we just take a moment to also mention like with what do you call it? With Batman, just when they show him fixing the machine, right?
Hmm.
The ship, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to fix it." And I like how then Cyborg later comes in and is like, "Oh, it's a software issue." Like, cause he's like talking to it, and I'm just like, I don't what? We got a computer to talk to the computers for us now.
Hella convenient. Super convenient, bro. Like what? Also, I
Yo,
really
and the
like
new
that.
outfit for Superman.
Oh,
The new outfit for Superman.
everything just looks so good, man. Like the new outfits. Yo, Cyborg looked better. Cyborg had a better story. He did cooler shit. Um,
Cyborg. So I think he did look better, 1,000%. But he also looked a little like skinnier,
it was a little skinnier, yeah. He looked
which
a little more robotic in the beginning,
yes,
like
and
in the in
it
his
threw me off.
movements.
Yeah, and it threw me off. It wasn't a bad thing. It's just that like I'm so used to like a bulky, you know.
Rounded out,
Yeah.
yeah. He was more angular.
Yeah.
Also, more of his body was um machine than usual. Like most of his
True.
body was machine.
True. True.
That and yeah, most of his body was machine.
I mean, it's his dad's fault. You never loved me, Dad. You should have been there.
Oh, such a good scene with like oh when he like just his interactions with his dad was just so much better. I'm just glad we had it. I'm just honest. I was just glad it was there. Yeah, man.
I feel you.
It. I can't. I can't stop. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again because I'm
I'm
just
not
so
gonna watch it
happy.
this week. I've seen it once already. It's not a movie I can definitely sit through and watch like twice in the same week. It's just it's
It's
long,
long.
bro.
It's long. I
It's
get that.
4 hours.
This shit's mad long. But like, it might not be this week. But I might watch it again next week.
And then next week we got, well, I guess as the recording of this episode is next week, but once it airs, it'll be this week.
Yes.
We got Kong versus Zilla.
Whew. Kong versus the Zill. Bro, I'm
And it's
very
going to
excited
be
for that movie.
lit.
So yeah, good movies coming out this month. I'm really happy. Really happy
Mhm.
about that, man. Once again, the
It's-
fans win. This is a victory for the fans.
oh my god.
Also, kind of a defeat, but I'll take it. I'll take the W's where I can.
Right? Just take the dubs. Just take the dubs.
But I think
Oh,
that's where I'm gonna call it for ranting and raving about this movie. Because if I really wanted to sit here and like talk about everything, like it would take hours.
no.
But
1000%. 1000%.
yeah, if anybody
So,
wants to like discuss it online, y'all want to like drop comments and discuss it there, or shoot us a DM or an email, like I'm down.
facts. Facts. You already know how to reach us, but just in case you don't, it is I'm sorry, it has been in my throat. The underscore content corner on Instagram and Twitter. Or you can just email us contentcornermail@gmail.com. Anything if you want, like I said, if you want to talk about something about the movie, if you want us to like talk about something else, or if you want us to watch something else, let us know. We waiting.
Once
We
again,
waiting for
that's
something.
the underscore content corner. Herbert speaks kind of fast on Instagram and
I
Twitter.
do. I do. I'm sorry. Not really, but I am. But not really. So on that note, thanks again for giving us a listen, guys, and stay tuned for our next episode, which, if you couldn't tell from what we said before, is probably going to be Godzilla vs Kong. So,
Probably.
all right, catch y'all later.